And as we begin tonight, there's a major new development in the murder of a beloved New River pastor. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office says they've now identified a suspect connected to the killing of 76-year-old William Shoneman. The pastor was found dead in his home back in April.
And tonight, for the first time, 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk steps into the pastor's church and hears from those who knew and loved him.
For more than a month, the murder of Pastor Bill Shoneman has haunted the New River community.
If somebody that knew him, they couldn't have done this.
On Friday, detectives announced the biggest break in the case so far. A suspect has been identified, but authorities are not ready to name them. That person is currently in custody of another law enforcement agency on unrelated charges. We don't know if that agency is here in the Valley, Arizona, or another state. The news brings a mix of hope and heartache for Shoneman's family and congregation at the New River Bible Chapel.
I'm at a loss for words because I cannot imagine anyone in the whole world who would want to hurt that man.
Diane Brown says Shoneman was more than her pastor.
Bill was my closest friend.
A welder by trade, Shoneman was always tinkering around his property, building custom cars and making frequent trips to Circle K for hot dogs and Dr. Pepper. Known to many as Pastor Bill, he spent more than 3 decades leading this church.
We're a bunch of sheep who have lost our shepherd, and it's really hard. Really hard.
Still, the heart of this small church beats on.
We know where he's at. Okay, and I have to be at peace with that. I don't like the way that his life was taken, but I know he's at peace.
Shoneman's son Randy is still grappling with the reality that he'll never hear his father's voice over the phone again. He says the latest developments are a step toward justice.
I don't think we're ever going to truly understand this person that did this. I hope that I can understand why a person would do something like this.
The sheriff's office says more information could be released in the coming weeks, but for now, any additional details could jeopardize the case.
He would be the first one to forgive them. God knows my heart, and he knows that right now I can't.
In New River, Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
All right, Kyle, thanks. Terrifying new video obtained by 12 News shows what led up to a deadly police shooting in Peoria last night. You can see the suspect, 43-year-old Matthew Carden, try and talk to a woman as she was walking her baby in a gated neighborhood. Carden starts to follow her, and here you hear the woman let out several screams, frantically calling for help. Peoria police arrived on the scene shortly after that. They say Carden was shot and killed after an altercation with officers. Friends of the victim tell 12 News they're just grateful that she wasn't seriously hurt.
I just want to send her my love and my hugs as a mom. I know I couldn't imagine that happening to me and my child. And I'm super grateful that our community did come together last night and heard her screaming, and her husband was available to rush over.
Police say that it was known that Cardone had mental health issues. Glendale police now investigating.
The Phoenix Police Department has released body camera footage from an officer-involved shooting that happened last week. This video shows the shocking fight that broke out leading up to that shooting. 12
News journalist Bianca Bono is live outside Phoenix Police Department headquarters tonight. Bianca, this video is a good reminder of just how dangerous policing is and how quickly things can escalate.
Yeah, exactly, Mark. This is just another example of the type of violence that police officers in the Valley are facing. And tonight we're learning this same suspect is accused of another aggravated assault just days prior.
Back up.
Shocking video showing a belligerent driver attack a Phoenix police officer.
Yeah, you little punk. Back little up. Punk. Sir. You. Back up.
Phoenix police say on May 25th, near Cactus and 24th Street, a patrol officer pulled 46-year-old Sam Perrone over for driving too slow. When the officer approaches, Perrone is already out of his car. Right away, he's combative.
Give me your driver's license. You.
The officer asking Perrone to back up.
You back up. I ain't backing the up. I ain't backing the up.
He was not compliant.
Back up. Nice. All right, come on.
A fight ensues, and the officer ends up pinned against his vehicle. His body camera is knocked to the ground. Witness cell phone video shows what happens next. The officer said Perone tried to grab his gun from his holster, prompting the officer to unholster it and shoot him in the leg. Just 5 days before this, MCSO confirms to 12 News that Perone was involved in another aggravated assault, this time at Cave Creek Roadhouse. Officials say Perone went behind the bar and hit a bartender in the face before taking off. The sheriff's office has submitted a case recommending he be charged with aggravated assault for that incident. Now that Perone has been released from the hospital, he's been charged with felony aggravated assault on a police officer. And we're told the bartender did suffer some pretty serious facial injuries. Now, as for that Phoenix police officer, a 4-year veteran with the department, he was also injured in that fight, but we're told thankfully he is okay. We're live in Phoenix tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you. 3 construction workers were hurt after the roof that they were working on in Peoria collapsed while they were building an RV garage. Police tell us that one of the workers was inside the structure and then the other 2 were on top when the roof came down. 2 of them were taken to the hospital. An investigation into what caused the collapse is underway. Day 2 of Lorie Valow Debel's second Arizona trial wrapped up earlier today, and it featured a heated moment as Lorie Valow Debel is removed from the courtroom during her 3rd criminal trial.
So in this trial, the Valow Debel is accused of conspiring to kill her niece's ex-husband. The I-Team's Erica Stapleton was in the courtroom and has a look at the fireworks.
Truly a jaw-dropping moment in court when Lorie Valow Debel was arguing with the judge, and the judge told the deputy to take her out.
And if I open the door, do I get a hearing? We stop trial and I get a hearing
Stop. We'll have a very short hearing, okay? If you're going to introduce how you have great character and good character, we're going to have a short hearing on what evidence that they can bring in to rebut that character, which could include being convicted of 4 murders. So
And would you
talk
like...
to your advisory counsel during the break. And
You don't need to yell at me either.
yelling at you, okay?
Yeah, you are, and you do not need to talk to me that way. I'm
Take her
very
out.
courteous.
Take her out.
I'm very courteous to you.
Take her out. No, you have been nothing near courteous to me during the course of these proceedings.
This all stems from Lorie Valow Debel's opening statements where she claimed to have no malice and to spread love. Before the jury came in Friday, the prosecutor pointed out that they could rebut those character statements by bringing in her prior convictions, which include the murders of her kids in Idaho and her role in the death of her former husband here in Arizona. This later led to an argument from Valow Debel, ultimately leading to her removal. After she was removed, she came back and apologized to the judge. The judge warned her that he can revoke her pro se status, meaning she wouldn't be able to represent herself anymore. In this case, Lorie Valow Debel is accused of conspiring with her brother, Alex Cox, to kill her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreau. Investigators believe Cox tried to shoot Boudreau outside his home in Gilbert in October 2019. Brandon wasn't hit and actually took the stand to testify. Things remain tense as Valow Debel cross-examined him.
So you and I have never had an argument in our lifetimes.
I wouldn't agree with that. I would say that there have for sure been disagreements between us, but I can't think of a specific time that I could share where me and you face-to-face argued. I'm not a confrontational person.
You've known me for all these years. Am I a confrontational person?
I'm going to check the character evidence under 404 and 405.
Sustained.
On redirect,
When you saw that bullet hole in your car and no paint on your car, what went through your head?
When I saw that, I knew that there was no other option than that someone just shot at me and they were meaning to kill me. There's no other logical explanation for why that would have happened.
Lorie's brother, Alex Cox, can't be charged in this case because he died before charges were filed. Another big update from court that Lorie Valow Debel's niece, Melanie, the ex-wife of Brandon Boudreau, is actually part of an open investigation related to this case. That, according to the prosecutor. We're expecting testimony to continue Monday morning. Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
All right, Erica, thank you. And just a reminder, 12 Plus is streaming the entire trial, so make sure you download 12 Plus on your TV and you can watch everything for free. We'll also have a nightly recap show at 8 o'clock. Again, that's exclusively streaming on 12 Plus.
New at 10, a seismic shift in college sports tonight after a federal judge clears the way for colleges to start paying their athletes a share of the revenue that they help generate.
12 News journalist Jake Garcia is live in studio. And Jake, all of this stems from a lawsuit that was filed by a former ASU swimmer, right?
That's right. His name is Grant House, and he was the lead plaintiff in this case against the NCAA and all of its major conferences. Now, this has been a marathon of a fight, but House has no problem going long distance. He was a Pac-12 champ at ASU and now a champion for the rights of student athletes to expand their potential earnings. Here are the biggest takeaways from today's historic decision and how it builds on previous gains in the NIL space. Schools will now be able to pay athletes directly for the first time. No need to go through third-party NIL collectives. This means a new revenue sharing model where athletic departments can pay just over $20 million to athletes next school year. The NCAA will also pay more than $2.5 billion in damages to former D1 athletes dating back to 2016 who were not able to capitalize on NIL deals. Also, programs will no longer face scholarship limits, but maximum roster size per team will limit opportunities for walk-ons. There's also a new enforcement agency called the College Sports Commission that will oversee payments that come from schools and their boosters. Judge Claudia Wilken approved the deal earlier this evening. The effects of this decision will be widespread, but don't expect this to mark the end of lawsuits leveled at the NCAA and its concept of amateurism. Mark and Caribe, questions like whether athletes should be considered employees are still unanswered.
Yeah.
And what does that do to NIL? Does NIL just go away, or do the athletes make a share of the revenue they generate for the school plus the NIL?
It's yes to your last question. NIL is here to stay. That is not going away. But now things like the revenue sharing for the TV contracts that these school signs, athletes get a part of that as well.
So they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
They sure will.
Lots of fine details, though, still to work out. All right, Jake, thank you.